Alright, hell yeah. So this video comes from The Wrath of Math. He posted this, and hell yeah. I feel like a sleazeball, just, you know what I mean? When people post really quality content, and I'm just like, hell yeah, let's try to capitalize on that. But anyway, I do think it's useful, and I'll just say I'm super motivated right now. You know what I mean? I really want to solve this real time. I've hardly looked at this. I know there's a 27 and a 12, and I haven't even watched Wrath of Math's video. If you're not subscribed to his channel, you should, because the kings of this business are doing, you know what I mean, quality work. So hell yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to do this method from my point of view, which is, hey, we're going to add oranges together. You know what I mean? And if we got some apples, we can add apples together. But you can't add apples and oranges. And so that's, anytime I see like a square root, I'm going to be like, hell yeah, that's like the orange part. So right here I could be like, hey, I got 27 oranges. No, see, I already messed it up. You know what I mean? This, I'm going to put an imaginary 1 out in front of this, and right here I have 1 orange. Okay? And I'm going to say this square root is like 1 apple, and maybe this square root 75 is going to be 1 pineapple. You know what I mean? I can't subtract 1 orange, you know what I mean, from 1 apple. I don't even think you'd say it that way. But anyway, so we need to, oh yeah, and this is interesting, and apologize, I'm not going to do any writing on the screen. But we're going to do factor. So 27, it's under the square root, but check this out in a second. And the whole idea is like, can we do this in our head? Because I think I looked at one comment, and they were just like, hey, the answer is 1/5. So I already know that though, but we'll see if we can get there. So 27 factors, and I've been doing this a lot. If you don't have a calculator, you know what I mean, take a number and just factor the hell out of it. So we have 27, we're going to divide by 3, that's going to be 9. 9 divides by 3, you know what I mean, 9 is 3 times 3. So this is 3 times 3 times 3. And the cool thing about doing the square root is then you can have the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 times the square root of 3. Okay, let's see if that helps us down the road. Oh, yeah, and the other thing is that if you have the square root of 3 times square root of 3, you get 3. You know what I mean? So we can kind of just factor, that's how you would factor that out. And sorry, no writing, but I'm just trying to do this from like, hey, I don't have any paper, don't have a calculator, and I want to visualize this. I think that's a very good skill, and I'm just pumped, you know what I mean? So thanks for the kings of math content to get me so motivated right now. Now this one is going to factor into 3 times 4. It's going to even factor farther into 3 times 2 times 2. So we still have a square root of 3 there. So, I mean, and that's the thing. If I had paper, I would do this, because I have the square root, and then I would break 12 into 3 times 2 times 2 underneath that square root. You know what I mean? The next property of square roots is like, hey, you can take each individual number, square root of 3 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2. Sweet. And then you kind of have to know that the square root of 2 times square root of 2, that should be like big red, you know what I mean, like alarm bells, and be like, hey, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. So this one's 2 square roots of 3. And now let's go back to kind of the apples and oranges, because we're honing in, and we're going to say the square root of 3 is now our orange. You know what I mean? And here I'm going to have 2 oranges, you know what I mean, 2 square root of 3. So that's what I just think, you know what I mean? It's just really easy for me to just, you know, I think even saying the square root of 3, there's a lot of verbiage there, when I can just be like, hey, dude, we got 3 oranges. Over here, what did we have? Well, we had like 3, we had the square root of 3 times the square root of 3. Don't get that confused with 9. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. Cool, so we have 3 times the square root of 3. See how complicated that is to say? Or just 3 oranges. So we have 3 oranges minus 2 oranges. And now, hell yeah, we got 1 orange up top. So we have 1 square root of 3 up top. Now let's go down here. So 75, how would I factor this? Well, I'm going to use a little mental math trick. I know I got to factor by 5, but what I think I can do is, what do we, half this or double it? I forget. You know what I mean? Let's say I, you know what I mean? I can't divide this by 10, right? Oh, now I'm going to get in trouble here. You know what I mean? I forget my rule with 5s. But if I did double this, it would be 150. Yeah, there you go. So hell yeah. So if I double this, anytime you're doing with 5s, you know what I mean, think, hey, double it. Because if I double 75, now my brain isn't just fried. We got 150, and now I can take 150 divided by 10, and that's so simple. That's 15. And what did we do in that process? We got 5 times 15 is 75, because we doubled this, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so I think that double, you know what I mean, settled in. And then divide by 10. That's the same thing as 75 divided by 5 is 150 divided by 10. And I'm not doing no formal proof on that one. I'm just going to move it right along. So this factors from 15 times 5, and now you can see a pattern. We're going to get, we have the square root of, so this would be, slow down. This would be the square root of 5 and then the square root of 15. Because anytime that we factor this and have all these numbers multiplied underneath, yeah, I'm going to say Radisand because I just looked it up, and it's Radisand, Radicand. And I hate terminology, but I'm getting better at being like, hey, the number in here is the Radisand. Yeah, so I kind of messed that up. So this is the exponent. The number under the exponent is the Radisand. So you can take the Radisand and factor it. And so we did it, and so we did 5 times 15. 15 factors into 3 and 5. So now we can put each of those underneath the square root. And sorry for no writing on this one, but we have the square root of 5, square root of 3, square root of 5. Obviously, we can group the square root of 5s, and that's going to become 5. And that's going to be 5 times the square root of 3. And with my method, that's going to be 5 oranges. So anyway, and this is going to be so cool because now I'm going to go watch The Wrath of Math. I'm going to comment a hell yeah. I'm going to comment a like. And you should just be watching his videos, probably way juicier. Anyway, but it's oh man, you know, unless I'm making this funny, which I'm probably not, it's still low. It's lowbrow. I think to just instantly take someone's video and post or repost. But anyway, that's why we inverted the colors, and maybe I'll do that for others because I don't know. I just if I'm super pumped, we're doing it. So this one was 5 oranges. And so we had 1 orange up top divided by 5 oranges. And then the oranges cancel, you know what I mean? Because you're 1 orange divided by 1 orange, I guess, when division is just going to be 1. But we have 1 orange divided by 5 oranges, and we have 1/5. And sometimes it is useful to know the answer before. So hell yeah, we knew the answer before, but we got there using mental math. And a lot of the comments were just like, they were surprised how people can add and subtract but then like not know these all the other basic operations. Now, is this basic? I guess so, but honestly, it wasn't, I don't know the other source. I can't quote this source, but yeah, there was just one good YouTuber that was just always crushing it out on exponents. Just always like anytime a square root or, roots came up, just really going through anything that you can do to this. You know what I mean? Like all the different things you can do. So then when you get a square root, you just have a lot of options. You know what I mean? Because I think it's tricky even just to, tell people how to get a number out from underneath is this a root or is this the Radisand? If this is the Radisand, do you call this the root? I have no idea. I don't even know my proper terminology. But yes, unless you're doing this on a daily and you forget, hell yeah, it's going to be really difficult to figure like, how do I get numbers out from underneath here? Or how do I even get numbers back into here? Well, one, if I had a 2 outside, well, this one, let's say I had this one has a 5. So this one has a 5 outside. How do I get that back in? Well, I got to take this 5 and turn it into the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. Cool. And then once I have those square roots, then everything has a square root, and then I can get rid of the square root, put the square root over everything, and then start multiplying 5 times 5 times 3 to get that 75, 5 times 15. All right, we are totally done with this one. Thanks for joining me, and that's a video.